To meet, conocer a alguien por primera vez. As I said before, I consider myself a social person. I enjoy meeting new people and getting to know people. Since the day-to-day of most working people tends to be a routine, we don't always meet a new person every day. In my job, I'm fortunate to have met some interesting people. I've met a lot of very successful business people, and working on the radio, I've met some interesting people for interviews. I created an interview series called Kyle Meets, where I interview people often in our radio studio. Last year I met Andrea Corr, who's the lead singer of The Corrs, one of the most successful folk groups of all time. She was very pleasant and down to earth, and had some very interesting stories to tell, having met and worked with a lot of well-known musicians and experienced a lot in her musical career. Translation Challenge. Number 1.
Le conocí ayer.
I met him yesterday. Number 2.
Jamás he conocido una persona tan testaruda.
I've never met such a stubborn person. Number 3.
¿Os gustaría conocer a mi amiga Alice?
Would you like to meet my friend Alice? Number 4.
¿No nos hemos conocido antes?
Haven't we met each other before? Number 5.
¿No te acuerdas de cuando nos conocimos?
Can't you remember when we first met? Interrogative challenge. Number 1. I met Susan at the party. Who did you meet at the party? Number 2. He meets girls in the bars. Where does he meet girls? Number 3. We met them yesterday. When did you meet them? Number 4. I wanted to meet him because his books are great. Why did you want to meet him? Number 5. They're going to meet the president tomorrow. When are they going to meet the president? To know. Uso uno. Saber. There are certainly a lot of things I would like to learn. We definitely live in an interesting world, and it seems, at least for me, knowing things and learning things is one of the greatest sources of satisfaction. I wish I knew more about history. I wish I knew more about global politics, and I wish I knew how to do more things in general. I know how to cook, but I wish I knew how to cook better than I do. I wish I knew more about computers. I wish I knew more about foreign languages. The list goes on. There are so many things I would like to learn, but there is a limit to what we can do in each day. I believe life is a constant learning process and a constant evolution. I hope to continue learning new skills and generally acquire knowledge all my life. Maybe the most important thing when it comes to learning is to know how to manage time and spend our time learning and knowing what and who in our lives really brings us happiness. Translation Challenge. Number 1.
Mi hermano sabe más que yo sobre esto.
My brother knows more about this than I do. Number 2.
No sé nada sobre eso.
I don't know anything about that. Number 3.
Sé menos sobre la historia americana que Mike.
I know less American history than Mike. Number 4.
Te lo habría dicho si lo hubiera sabido.
I would have told you if I had known. Number 5.
Si supieras la respuesta, ¿me la dirías?
If you knew the answer, would you tell me? Interrogative challenge. Number 1. Harris knows the most about natural gas. Who knows the most about natural gas? Number 2. They know very little about the new process. How much do they know about the new process? Number 3. No one knows where he went. Who knows where he went? Number 4. We should know the answer by the end of next week. When should we know the answer? Number 5. She thinks we need to know the total costs. What does she think we need to know? 2. Conocer a alguien. I know a lot of people. I consider myself a fairly social person, but I also value spending time alone. Having lived in Madrid for many years now, I know a lot of people here and often run into them. I know a lot of people that I met at university, but I don't keep in touch with many of them. Despite being away from my hometown for such a long time, I still maintain great friendships with many of my friends from my childhood. For some reason, it seems that the type of relationship developed by spending your youth with someone is different from the relationship you may have with other friends that come into your life later on. Every time I go back to Canada, I connect with old friends, some of whom I've known since I was 3 years old. Even though we don't keep in regular contact when I'm in Spain, we seem to reconnect quickly in my hometown. I'm very lucky to have such good friends. Translation challenge. Number 1.
Le conozco desde ayer.
I've known him since yesterday. Number 2.
No le conozco personalmente.
I don't know him personally. Number 3.
Ella está intentando llegar a conocerle.
She's trying to get to know him. Number 4.
Nos conocemos desde hace años.
We've known each other for years. Number 5.
No conozco a nadie que se llame Herbert.
I don't know anyone named Herbert. Interrogative challenge. Number 1. I've known her for 5 years. How long have you known her? Number 2. I know him because he's my cousin. Why do you know him? Number 3. I know the tall guy. Which guy do you know? Number 4. They've known each other for 10 years. How long have they known each other? Number 5. I know her so well because we worked together in the 80s. Why do you know her so well?